Good morning, welcome back to another, I nearly said weekly vlog. I'm actually going to be doing a daily vlog today, full day of eating, but we're going to do it vlog style so that it's interesting for my girlies that love the vlogs, but also people who want some meal inspiration, and talk a little bit about my current goals as well. It's going to be a bit more of a fitnessy vlog today. Sort of like episode 1, I don't know if this is going to get more episodes, but if you guys want it, this is episode 1 of sort of a mini cut series because I'm getting very sweaty. Yeah, if you have been watching my vlogs, then you will know that I started a body recomposition towards the start of this year, 2.5 months, like 8 to 10 to 12 weeks. Shit has just hit the fan, like not in like a really bad way, but there's just been a lot of stuff going on. I've not been tracking my food. I have been training, but it's not really been intentional, and I've been slacking on my cardio and slacking on my steps. So when I started my body recomposition, I wanted to do it anyway, but I did have in mind for summer and for holidays and stuff just being a little bit leaner. This is by no means me saying for summer you need to lean out or you need to be leaner. I wanted to lean out in general. Yes, I did want to be a little bit leaner in time for certain things. However, because that's sort of been turned on its head the past 2-ish months, I'm actually embarking on a little bit of a mini cut for the next few weeks, which I'm not doing anything crazy. I will talk about it a lot more in this vlog. It basically just means I am putting myself in a slightly bigger deficit than I was trying to do before in order to see results a little bit quicker. I'm not doing it crazy. I'm not going into like a 50% deficit. I'm not eating like 1,000 calories a day, but I am reducing my intake a little bit. I'm tracking it more consistently, and I'm also increasing my expenditure through cardio, which again I will talk to you about in this video. Other things have taken priority, and that's completely fine. It simply means I need to lock in a little bit more over the next few weeks, and I've actually never done a mini cut before, so I'm really intrigued to see the results. I started it last week, very intrigued to see the results, but this morning we have legs and cardio on the card, so I'm gonna go and hit glutes and hamstrings, I'm thinking, and then we are going to finish off with some sprints for cardio. But yeah, let's get to the gym. Okay, so I started off this day with Kaz glute bridges instead of hip thrusts, just because it was what I was fancying doing this day. Now I really want to use this voiceover to basically talk about mini cuts and deficits in general when it comes to weight training. There is a common misconception which I feel like has definitely got better, but I feel like we still need to hammer it home. Guys, you do not need to do low weight, high rep when you are cutting. You can keep your program just the same as normal, because the best piece of advice anyone will ever give you is whatever built your muscle mass the best is going to be what maintains it best. Now, when you get further into a deficit, when you are on a mini cut and things are a little bit more intense, for example, I find with my RDLs, which I'm doing now, that usually I can use this weight as my working set for 2 sets. I only managed to do 1 set, and then I decided to reduce it by 10 kilos because I was feeling weaker, because I am in a much bigger deficit than, well, much bigger is subjective, but I am in a bigger deficit than I was before, and I am noticing a bit of an impact on my strength as a result. But you're going to feel that a lot more in a mini cut than you maybe would in a long-term deficit, just because you are in a bigger energy deficit. Your calories will be a little bit lower, your expenditure will be a little bit higher, so you might feel these things a little more. But the single-handed worst thing you can do to yourself in a deficit, if you are someone who really wants to have that toned physique and focus on maintaining as much of that hard-built muscle as possible, the worst thing you can do is go into the gym and think, I'm in a deficit, I'm going to be weaker, therefore I'm picking up a lighter weight. You very well might not be, and in a lot of cases, especially if you are doing more of a long-term cut, you will notice that you don't really see a huge drop off in your strength, or at least you shouldn't be, for a good month, if not longer. Like, that's how long it can take for you to experience that drop off in strength. But also, it doesn't always happen for everyone. Some people maintain their strength throughout their cut completely fine, but you should always be aiming to maintain your strength because, again, like I said, whatever built your muscle mass best, I can't talk today, is going to be what maintains it best. And there is no other way around that. Now, will it be harder to progressively overload? Yes, but as a bare minimum, not impossible, as a bare minimum, you should be aiming to maintain your strength, pushing for progressive overload where possible, but it might not be, but trying to maintain your strength as much as possible. So here I am doing some dumbbell step-ups, and this is a movement that, because it's newer to me, even though I am in a deficit, I'm finding I can progress on this. I'm moving my way up. I think next week I'm going to be on, I've gone from 25 kilos up to 40. That will be next week's, because this honestly is starting to feel a little easy for me. So I'm just doing my cable step-ups here. This is one of my favourite glute movements at the moment. But when you go on a mini cut, for my mini cut, for example, I'm not training any differently when it comes to my weights. I'm still trying to lift as heavy as I possibly can. I'm not focusing on low weight, high reps for bunny quotations toning. It's literally not a thing. You need to focus on maintaining your muscle mass as best as possible if you want to achieve that toned physique, because you need the muscle mass in order to achieve that look, and you are not going to get that through doing loads of low weight, high rep workouts if that's not how you have built your muscle in the first place. Okay. Now I'm just finishing off with some hamstring curls. I did these seated. I think I've come to realise I do like seated hamstring curls, but this machine in my gym just feels off. I feel like the angle of it is somehow just off to me. But yeah, I am keeping my weight training, just to give you an update for my mini cut. My weight training remaining the same. I'm trying to hit the gym 4 to 5 times a week, 3 lower, 1 upper, and then I think I'm actually, over the next couple of weeks, because I tried it out the day after I filmed this vlog, mixing in a hot Pilates session once a week, because I really enjoyed it, and there's no reason why I can't do that during my mini cut. So there is nothing that needs to change with your weight training when you go on a mini cut, when you go on a deficit in general. It's the number one biggest mistake you can make to think that you need to throw your training program on its head and only be doing light weights and tell yourself you're going to be weaker, because your brain's a powerful thing. If you tell yourself you're going to be weaker, you're going to walk in that gym and you're going to be fucking weaker. Okay, then I finish off with some sprint intervals. So for me, for cardio at the moment, I'm aiming for 100 minutes a week. So here I ticked off about 20 minutes. I won't go under 20 minutes for my cardio sessions, just because I find for my heart rate, under 20 minutes, unless it's sprints, obviously that's different, but for stairs, incline walks, which is my go-to, I would say I'm only going to be doing sprints once a week maximum whilst I'm on this mini cut, just to preserve my recovery and my energy as much as possible, because it is a little bit more intense. Sprints is the exception. I could do 10-15 minutes of this, but if I'm doing lists, it needs to be over 20 minutes for me in order to be able to actually get my heart rate up enough. So with the stairs, incline walk, I'm always sort of doing 20 to 40 minutes basically, but aiming for 100 minutes per week. But I wanted to do something a little bit more intense. I am kind of crazy for doing sprints after legs, but it's honestly not as bad as doing stairs after legs, and those were my two options in my head, because I knew I didn't want to do an incline walk, and I love doing sprints. I get such a good endorphin boost when I've done these, and cardio will be a really helpful tool for you guys if you are embarking on a mini cut, because it will just help you to drive your expenditure up quite a bit more, if I'm going to be honest, like significantly more than weight training will. It will be really beneficial for that, and it's also great for your heart health. But yeah, is done. I am so sweaty, but I really need to return this belt, because if I don't return it today, I bought it when I was in London. I don't know what I do know what I was thinking. I was thinking, shit, I need a belt. It's the belt that I didn't end up wearing if you watched that vlog, so I need to go and return that belt, and if I don't do it, I'm not going to do it, and I'm sick of being that person that's just like, oh, it doesn't matter. One thing not getting returned might not matter a ton in the grand scheme of things. You might not be losing out on a chunk of money, but it adds up when you keep telling yourself, oh, it doesn't matter, I'll just leave it, or I'll put it on Vinted. Yeah, babe, you're not getting anywhere near what you bought for it on Vintage. Just return it. Return it. Unless it's something that's sold out everywhere and you're going to make your money back, just return it, babes. And I know that some people will probably watch this and think, duh, obviously. It boils down to being a sheer lazy cow. So I've come into town really quickly just to return the belt, and I might get myself an iced latte just because, and I ran out of ice, and ever since I ran out of ice my dad has refilled the freezer up, so there's no room for ice within the freezer. I don't have to buy one, I could just not have one, but I really want an iced latte. I really like the coffee from Kapow, but I just don't know if I can be bothered to walk, I'm saying all the way over there, it's just not near to where I'm going. My other option would be cup and lid. I do like the coffee that they do there as well, but obviously with me being on my mini cut at the moment, I'm gonna signpost. I won't talk about it all the time in every single vlog, guys, but just because this is like a full day of eating. It's really weird for me with coffee because when I first started drinking it I could only have caramel, vanilla, like it had to be sweetened. Now like my boyfriend gets sweetened coffees and to me it tastes like a candle. It tastes like I'm drinking a candle. I can't do it anymore. So to be honest, I don't really get like flavoured coffee anyway, which obviously does help with calories, but the only exception to that is Cup and Lid's tiramisu latte, but it's got so many calories and it's just, right now whilst I'm on a mini cut, not worth it. But normally I would make allowances for that. Really weird, I don't know, has anyone else done that? You hated coffee, you kind of force yourself to like it by using all these sweeteners, and now you can't stand the sweeteners. My boyfriend will be like, oh, this tastes yummy, or it'll be like flavours I've had before, and I'm like, yeah, they're so nice, and then I start drinking it and I'm like, it tastes like a candle. Return the belt and grab a coffee. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, maybe I will just get a cup and lid so I can get out of here, because I'm not paying for a lot of time for parking. John Lewis car parks, and I was like, rip off. I returned the belt, guys. It literally takes 2 minutes and it's so fucking easy. This is your side, go return the returns. And then I went to Cup and Lid to get my latte. The staff in there are just always so nice, and honestly I don't know if what I'm about to say makes sense, but I feel like Cup and Lid isn't independent because there is multiple of them, so there is a chain. Well, actually, does that make it not independent? I don't know, but it's obviously smaller than your big chains. More independent, more small coffee places. It has a specific taste, I much prefer it. I can't quite put my finger on it, but this iced latte is really nice. Do a lot of cool shit in there. The matchas are really good. The white chocolate matcha from there is really good. The tiramisu latte from there is absolutely unreal. Like, it will knock your socks off. And then obviously they do iced like chocolates and all that sort of stuff as well. Let's get out of here. By the way, my parking just cost me £4. I've been here for 25 minutes. Ugh. Came home, made my lunch, which is like a Greek. I was just doing it like a classic Greek salad at first, but recently I've really been enjoying adding a little bit of Nando's sauce to it, just for like an extra kick, because more moist, if that makes sense. But yeah, you guys have obviously seen me make that. If you're curious about the chicken, I am a hater of preheated chicken. I like quick and easy meals, but I cannot stand reheated chicken. Like, I will never put chicken in the microwave. I can't meal prep chicken, as in like meal prep it to then just reheat it. I actually do instead, which was actually one of your guys' suggestions probably like a year and a half ago, is to actually basically chop up all your chicken raw, season it at the start of the week, and then recover it. And basically, as the days go on, your chicken actually gets better, and then you just chuck it in the air fryer. Now, obviously, if you don't work from home and you've got to be on the go, you're not going to be able to do that. But if you are a working from home person and you want to save time but still have better chicken, I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you do that. It's honestly been such a game changer for me when it comes to my chicken, and it just gets tastier as the days go on. And I just basically season it with salt and pepper and mixed herbs and make like a Mediterranean herby chicken. It's not like super flavorful, but it's just enough point where the chicken doesn't taste like chicken. If you know, you know. So I'm actually currently just getting ready to go and get my steps in. That's another big part of my mini cut, is just making sure I'm staying on top of my activity day to day, on top of my increasing cardio, which I will like fully explain in this video what I'm actually doing and like everything I'm doing. From, obviously we've already spoke about training, but we'll talk about nutrition, cardio, and sort of steps and all that good stuff, and I will explain that in this video, but that's what I'm getting ready to go and do now. And I just feel like I need to talk about this because I don't know if anyone else has been watching Love Island. First of all, Love Island UK. Megan last night, that is a masterclass in gaslighting, because she sat there telling Tommy like, no, like, why the fuck would you believe Harry over me? Like, going in on him in bed. And I'm just like, I get it, but you are lying to him. It was honestly a masterclass in gaslighting, and not to be that person, but I feel like if that was being done the other way around, especially with the swearing and the aggression that it comes with, it would be World War III if that was being done the other way around, because she is barefaced lying. So that's kind of crazy. Is Love Island US, which I've not actually been watching. I've been watching it via clips on TikTok, to the point where I feel like I have been watching it, if that makes sense. It's Casa Amor on the American one at the time I'm filming this, and there's a girl called Vanna on there who's 21. She's clearly had like filler and all that sort of stuff done. Everyone is being so cruel about it online. So you've got the people who are just straight up being nasty and rude, and then you've got the people who think they're making some kind of like really intellectual think piece about it, and it's not bullying because it's a think piece, despite the fact that all the comments under those videos are literally bullying the people. And in the video they are using her as basically a case study about filler and surgery and why it's so bad and blah 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 blah, blah, and just saying basically she looks bad. It baffles me because people did it on the last season of Love Island to people like Harriet. I think Jess got it quite badly as well. But the thing that I don't understand, and I want to make sure I articulate this properly, is, for example, last year you also had Grace. Grace and Harriet, or Grace and Jess, or Grace and Vanna even, have the same amount of work done, okay? Grace gets a lot of work done. She's always coming up on my TikTok For You page. She's always at Dr. Ross. She gets a lot of work done. No problem with it. Love it for her. She is probably one of the people I have seen praised the most in Love Island in recent years for her looks, and she is beautiful, she's stunning. What I find insane is people making these think pieces about people like Vanna, like Harriet, like Jess, which is so cruel, and you are literally just encouraging bullying and basically saying that they look bad to hundreds of thousands of people, and these videos get hundreds of thousands of likes and comments. They claim that it's about young girls getting too much work done or young girls getting bad work done. It's nothing to do with that, because if it was, you'd be saying the exact same thing about people like Grace and other people that have been on Love Island who get praised so much for how they look. Nothing to do the surgery, the filler. If it was, you'd be saying it about these people, because these people actually have more work done. It's just, this is how this person looked naturally, and this is how they look with a bit of filler, with a bit of Botox. And actually, if you look at it, it's not that different. They just had a very different starting point. So basically what you're saying is they're just not beautiful to you. That is what you're saying, because if it was about the surgery and the filler, you'd be saying it about everyone, but you're not. You're only saying it about the people it looks bad on. But realistically, if you look at all these people before they got the work done, they don't look that different. That's just their face, and it's incredibly rude, and it's just thinly veiled bullying by making out like it's a think piece about how bad surgery and filler is, which makes no sense, because if it was about that, like I said, you'd be saying it about everyone. I just needed to rant and get that off my chest, but I hope that I have just find these videos to be so hypocritical and annoying. It's just bullying, like that's all it boils down to. Anyway, I'm getting ready to go and get my steps in, like I said, and I'm gonna put on another outfit because I did actually get a box finally, my first. We are in almost July, we are almost 6 months in, but I finally received my first box of samples from Alphalete for my new role. So I've been testing some things out, but as part of that, something I've always done is try things from other brands to feed back to Alphalete on how I like them, or if it's something I think is a really good product, I'll send them pictures, send them messages about it and be like, we need to do something like this. Not rip it off completely, but whether it's the fabric, the fit, the style, always something that I've done. Even though I'm exclusive, people think I don't know about other brands or wear other brands. I absolutely do. Part of it is they want me to basically do that further, and if there's things that they want me to test because they want my opinion on it, because they're thinking of doing something similar or a similar fabric or a similar style, they basically want me to go and test it. So there is actually some Gymshark pieces in that box, so I'm trying those out for my walk today. I think they do probably want me to train in them as well, which I will, but I just want to try it out on a walk first and foremost, and then obviously I will feed back to them. And I have been sending videos, I've been sending updates in the gym, I've been writing it all down in the notes app on my phone. Like, I'm not joking, this is my Roman empire, and I'm so grateful. It took us a while to get here, and I had to ask really nicely to actually be more involved in this role, because I think I've spoke about it in vlogs, but honestly, like I would honestly say up until the past month, there hasn't really been any involvement, and it was kind of disheartening, to be honest. So I am very, 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 very happy and very excited to be more involved, because this is what I want to do, like ultimately, like long-term career and stuff. I would love to work in activewear. I would love to do something like this. So I really, really, really want to make sure like I'm being as on it as possible with it. Like anything they want me to do, I will do it, because I want to be as helpful as possible, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay in this role next year. They might want to like rotate people through them, but the whole point of this role for me is like progressing with the brand. So I would love to be able to continue to progress or stay in the role, but be able to learn more. Like that's what I'm so excited for. And honestly, when that package came, last week was a very, very, very weird week for reasons I won't discuss, but package genuinely made my week. Like I'm so grateful and so excited. Like I got to test a new fabric yesterday, exciting, and this is exactly what I've been wanting to do, and to be able to be more involved is just such a dream come true, and I'm so glad that they've basically put their trust in me for this sort of stuff. So today I'm not trying out Alphalete, I'm actually trying out some Gymshark stuff. So I do feel like it really does impact my mood when I'm cooped up all day a little bit. Nearly 4 p.m. now, like I was doing quite a lot of work, so I'm going to take a bit of a work break, go get my steps in. I'm saying work break, I am actually going to work on my phone because I've got some client messages I need to get back to, but an outdoorsy working session whilst I get some steps in. So let's go. I'm just going to put a little bit of this on. I got it for my birthday from my brother, and I actually wanted beach skin. I actually went in Space NK when I was in London, and I was able to smell beach skin after I got this one, and peach skin is way nicer in my opinion. Obviously peachy and fruity, but it has like a pepperiness, spiciness to it, so it's not just like a flat like herbal essences sort of scent. Definitely like it just as much as vanilla skin. So if you want a fruity scent in body mist form, obviously you're not going to get the same strength out of this that you would a perfume, but more interesting fruity smell. I think if you like vanilla skin, you'll like this. If you don't like vanilla skin, you won't like it, because it's got that same sort of like peppery, like a peppery note to it, like a spicy note to it that really gets up your nostrils, that I know some people think vanilla skin smells like curry. You'll have the same issue with this, but I just think this is so, it's just such a nice take on a fruity scent. I feel like phlur are the only body mists I've tried. Please let me know if you've got other recommendations. No offense, but not Sol de Janeiro. I don't really like any of them. I just feel like they do something a bit different. I don't know how to word it. I just find the scents that they do in body mists way more interesting. So I'm putting this on for my walk. I've been wearing it quite a lot, to be honest. I've only had it since my birthday, which was like 2 weeks ago now. Okay, let's go get these steps in. Okay, I just got back from the gym, and I'm going to actually shower, not from the gym, from doing my steps, and I also went to Sainsbury's because I needed more lettuce, onion and some potatoes, because I'm going to make a burger bowl for my tea, which is, I've been loving my Greek salads, but it's probably my favourite meal, but I've realised I'm going to be a little bit low on carbs, so I'm going to put some potatoes in there as well, but I'm going to make that after I've showered because I'm not super hungry right now. But to make sure that I hit my protein goal for the day, I put some water in here. I use my ESN ISO Clear in blueberry iced tea flavour. Background noise because my dad is cooking burgers. Not like I'm showing you anything groundbreaking, so there's no point waiting for him to be finished. So I'm just going to do 1 scoop of that. And then I was using an electric whisk, but if you've been watching my vlogs, you'll know I got really overstimulated by it because it wouldn't turn off. And I actually threw it in the bin in a massive straw. I don't have one of those anymore, but ever since I got my Nespresso cup, it's fine in this if I just shake it. And then you have to, it goes kind of fuzzy, so you need to let it sit, like settle for a couple of minutes, but then it's completely gone. Oh my god, the colour matches the jacket like perfectly. But yeah, you just have to let it sit and then it's pretty much perfect. But I much prefer these to like creamy protein drinks, plus it is quite warm outside. It was cold earlier and now it's warm. So I want something refreshing. I'm going to drink this, have a shower, do some work, and then we'll make burger bowls together. I feel so nice and clean. I fake tanned last night as well, and I feel like my tan is looking nice and fresh. I wanted to chat about mini cuts and explain them a little bit more in depth, because I did post about it on Instagram and I got a lot of people saying that they feel like they're seeing a lot more creators talk about mini cuts and sort of confused as to what the difference between that and cut is, what's the difference between that and a deficit. Like, I want to answer all those questions, but I'm just doing my PM skincare, which is currently for a topic all around where my perioral dermatitis is, which it's nearly gone. It flared up quite bad again last week. I think I've realised when it's not fully healed, the heat irritates it so badly to the point where nothing works on it. It just flared back up, but it is basically gone now. So that's what I've been using, but that is prescription. Gone through almost 2 bottles of this now. It's the Inculist xxxxx Hydro Glow Complex. Now, I can't put moisturiser on underneath the Pro Topic or over it for an hour. I just want a little bit of extra moisture in my skin because it has been quite warm today. So basically, I'm just taking this and I just put it around the areas that I haven't put the Pro Topic on. So I stay to like the parameters. I do my nose here, eyelids, under eyes, forehead, and basically stop there. And then when this has been on for an hour, I will put moisturiser over the top of it this evening. I recommended this, and I've again used half a tub of it in the space of about 2 weeks because it's the only cleanser I've been using. This is so nice if you struggle with perioral dermatitis or any sort of skin irritation. I cannot recommend this enough. I know that everyone's skin is different and everything will be different for everyone, and different things work for different people, but so non-irritating. And because I've not been able to put so many products on my skin with like loads of moisturisers and stuff, for example, not being able to moisturise around my mouth, this doesn't feel stripping at all in the shower. So I'm not coming out of the shower like gasping to put like intense hydration on my skin, if that makes sense. Got this at the weekend, and again, she's already used a lot of it, but I ran out of the tub and they actually didn't have the tub in stock. I do prefer the tub because it leaves like a really nice glow, but if you're someone who doesn't like the oily feel, this is a really nice lightweight moisturiser that still gives you a really decent level of moisture. Put it on damp skin fresh out the shower and I've been really enjoying it. There's no scent to it, it doesn't smell of anything. Mini cuts, I wanted to talk to you guys about this. So first of all, first and foremost, if you are new to the gym, you're new to dieting, you're new to fat loss, or you have like a significant amount of weight that you want to lose, I would not recommend doing mini cuts because it's not long enough to teach you long-term habits. It's not probably going to get you the sort of results that you're after. And I worry that honestly, if you are new to dieting or you're new to doing a fat loss phase or you're new to the gym, this could set you off on a really bad path because it's not extreme, but it is more intense than a deficit that goes on for 4 months, for example. It's more intense because it's done over a shorter period of time. As there are certain things that you just cannot achieve in a certain time frame. So I don't want to say it's like a hack to achieve 4 months worth of goals in 4 to 8 weeks. Not always going to be the case. It's basically just like a little bit of a neaten up, tidy up phase. But please, 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 if you are new, like I really want to make sure I'm giving out like sensible and healthy advice, and I do not want to set any of you off on a bad path with... Why does it sound like there's gunshots outside my house? If it was gunshots, I think it was fireworks, but welcome to Bradford. Is it gunshots? Is it fireworks? I'm not quite sure. Yes, I want to make sure I'm being a good role model for you guys. I don't want to set any of you down a path where you're doing super extreme diets and that's your norm, or you end up with an eating disorder because you've done something too extreme to start with. This is more for people who are more experienced in the gym, who don't have a ton of body fat to lose, who have a shorter time frame to be working towards. And actually, it's something that's taken from bodybuilding. That's the background of it. It's a technique that a lot of bodybuilders will use during, for example, their off season to keep them from getting too fluffy. More of like a bro technique than anything else. It's not particularly girly pop. A mini cut, more intense version of a diet done over a short period of time. Now, this does not mean, please, please, please listen to me, this does not mean go and eat 500 calories a day and do an hour of cardio every day and 2 hours of weights and you're going to see amazing results in 4 weeks. You're going to make yourself ill, okay? And also the chances are, if you are someone that's a good candidate for a mini cut, you have a lot of muscle mass, and muscle mass is something that's taken you a long time to build up, and it's something that's really important to you. Cannot stress enough, the more extreme you go with a diet, the more at risk you are of losing muscle mass, losing strength, and that's not something that we want to do. So whilst a mini cut is a more intense version of a deficit intended to be done over a shorter period of time, it's not an extreme diet by any means. So for example, with a client that comes to me and they want to do a fat loss phase and let's say they have 6 kilos that they want to lose, we would typically do and we might start them off with a 10% deficit, and we might be looking at 0.25 to 0.5 kg lost per week, and see how we go for a few months. Nothing crazy. We might do cardio just for like a cardiovascular health point of view, but nothing crazy in terms of the expenditure, just training, decent step count, and that might take months to get to their end goal. The benefits of doing it that way are, obviously, you do it over a longer period of time, so you're not having to do more intense training sessions, you're not having to do more intense expenditure, you're not having to eat as little as you are when you go on a mini cut, but obviously you are then in a deficit for a longer period of time. And again, I cannot stress enough, not everyone that wants to do a deficit and wants to lose fat is eligible to do a mini cut, because it's not going to make sense for people who have a significant amount of weight and body fat that they are looking to lose. In mini cut, on the other hand, you might be, for example, looking at, instead of doing a 10% deficit, you might be looking at 15 to 20% from an output point of view to help get you into even further of a deficit. You might increase your cardio, you might increase your step count. The difference between the two is one is less intense and it's done over a longer period of time. It's more sustainable. With a mini cut, I would say anywhere from like 4 to 8, maybe 12 weeks, but I would honestly say 12 weeks is like that's 3 months. That's like a pretty decent, like sustainable-ish diet phase for some people. But now the purpose of this, you're not going to see like 8 kilos lost in that space of time. You're not going to see a mass amount body fat loss. Basically going to see a little bit of a reduction in body fat in your physique in that sort of time frame. You might feel a little bit tighter, but you're not going to get extreme results, even though it's more extreme. If you did that for a longer period of time, you would get more extreme results than this person because you're in a bigger deficit. But that's not the purpose of it. The purpose is basically to get in and out, maintaining a physique over time, and for tidying up after periods of not tracking or periods of being off plan for whatever reason. That's basically what they are used for, but they are not going to make sense in every circumstance, and I cannot stress this enough. You cannot always just mini cut your way to the goals that you want to achieve, and especially if you have a lot of body fat that you're wanting to lose, I would really strongly recommend that you go the healthier route where you do it for a longer period of time, but you do it less intensely. You're still going to see amazing progress. So on to my mini cut. I explained it slightly earlier, but basically at the start of this year I started a body recomposition phase, and the past 2 to 3 months, if I had to eyeball it, I've had a lot of things going on and I've not been tracking my food, so I don't know what my intake has been. Especially over the past 1 to 2 months, my cardio definitely hasn't been where I wanted it to be in terms of how much I'm doing. My step count hasn't been where I've wanted it to be, and I've been getting my training sessions in, but I've not really been like locked in with them and focused on progressive overload or anything like that. When I started my body recomp at the start of the year, I did have an idea in mind of where I wanted to be for the summertime, because I did want to be a little bit leaner, not just for summer. I wanted to be a little bit leaner permanently, but I was like, right, this is going to be my end goal. I should have been done with that by now, but because of the past few months, I'm not. Basically, I just did a reflection on where I am compared to where I thought I'd be, and because of the past few months, I'm not where I thought I'd be. So I've decided to try a mini cut, and it's my first ever one. I've never done one before. So before I was doing a 10% deficit, now I'm doing a slightly bigger one. My cardio, on average, I've probably been averaging about 60 minutes a week. I have upped that to 100 minutes a week, and in terms of how that works, I will have explained it earlier in the video, but basically no less than 20 minutes a session, but I split it up however I want across the week as long as I get my 100 minutes in. My step goal is set at 7,500 steps a day because I have a very sedentary job. For me personally, that's a challenging but achievable step goal. And in terms of my nutrition outside of the deficit, making a conscious effort to focus just more on nutritionally dense foods and just making sure I'm really focusing on my micronutrients. That's something I was really slacking on. So I'm really making sure, you know, plenty of salads, plenty of vegetables, plenty of fruit, and just trying to be as smart with my food choices as possible. Because yes, your protein intake is important, of course, and that's something I'm focusing on as well. I'm definitely opting for a high protein diet, but my other main focus is really my micronutrients, because I want to be feeling my best, and I cannot stress enough, so many gym people overlook this and they just focus on macros. Your vitamins, your minerals, all that sort of stuff is equally as important, and it's so important for your overall health. I cannot stress it enough, so please make sure you are focusing on that. It's really important. And in terms of my weight training, obviously I will have explained that a little bit earlier in the video when I was in the gym, but just to reiterate, I'm trying to go to the gym 4 to 5 times a week for weight, and that's basically split 3 lower, 1 upper. And then tomorrow, for example, I'm actually, instead of going to the gym, I'm going and doing a hot Pilates class tomorrow, so that's my 4th workout of the week tomorrow. That's sort of how I've got to this point. I want to be really clear, I'm not doing this as a punishment to myself. It's just an honest reflection, and I was like, shit, I'm actually not where I thought I would be by this point. But also there is a little bit of curiosity for me. It's a mini cut. I've never done one before, but I have done them with clients. Yeah, I wanted to basically put myself in my client's shoes a little bit, but also a curiosity just from my body's point of view. I want to see what is possible for my body to do in like a much shorter space of time if I just go a little bit harder, because I've not really, but like I said, I've never done this before. But yeah, that is just basically an explanation on what a mini cut is, who is eligible for them, who isn't, information on my own, just to update you guys on why I'm doing one and what I'm currently doing a little bit different. Anyway, I'm quite hungry, so let's go make burger bowls. Time for a sweet treat. By the way, I just have to reiterate, I know I've already said it, but that burger bowl is so fucking good. And adding the potatoes, it's already so filling, I'm not joking. That takes me about 25 minutes to finish eating. I'm a Ninja Creami now. I got one for my birthday, but to be honest, I've used it to make protein coffee ice cream. Other than that, I've been using it for sorbets. I feel like that's just what I'm gravitating towards. I feel like a traitor, because I feel like I should be coming up with high protein recipes for you guys, but just, I love a sorbet. Like, I'm really on a sorbet roll at the moment. So I made watermelon and lime yesterday, but it didn't taste of much, I'm not gonna lie. So this time I've done watermelon, raspberries and lime juice. So we've got a little bit of extra flavour. God. It smells good. I feel like this could be really, really, really good. People keep asking me what setting I put it on, and I'm like, sorbet. But I don't think every single creami has the sorbet option, but mine does. In here, she's secured. Turn it on. We twist it up to reinstall it. Full, not ice cream. Twist it so it's to sorbet. Okay, it's done its sorbet. Now we have a knife, a butter knife. Is going to be best friend. The creamy life I'm coming to learn. Basically, how it looks on after its first spin. First of all, the colour of this looks incredible, but I don't know if you can tell, certain bits get stuck to the side. So I basically, oh my god, this smells really good, I'm not gonna lie guys. I basically take the knife all the way around the sides, just scrape the sides so that it's like fully locked in. Tell you what lads, it's tasty way this is. Which is really good. But I'm just going to put it back on for a respin to get the texture correct. Okay guys, she's redone. It's the moment of truth. Oh, she's still a little bit crummy, you know. I'm going to put a little bit of water in just because she's still a little crummy. Guys, third attempt. Yes! We succeeded! Look at that, guys. Look at the colour. Look at the fucking colour. No artificial colouring up in this bitch. It's just watermelon, raspberry, lime, and a little bit of water. I did also, by the way, just for full day of eating purposes, transparency, I have eaten a white flesh nectarine whilst I was cooking my burger bowl. So yeah, cheers. Oh, look at that, look at the colour. Stunning. That is so good, and it really tastes like a fresh raspberry. You know how like fresh raspberries almost taste a little bit bitter? And like a little bit like leafy almost. Probably now going to eat this full thing. I'll give my mum and dad some, but I will probably eat the full thing because from a calorie point of view, I mean, it's not why I got a Ninja Creami, I've wanted one for ages, but this whole tub, it's just made me an entire tub of sorbet out of a small packet of watermelon and a packet of raspberries. So this whole thing, if I had to guess, is probably about 100 to 150 calories. It's nothing in the grand scheme of things. Plus it's full of micronutrients, and because I've made it myself, there's no extras in it, it's just fruit. Stunning. I'm so proud of this. I'm just about to go upstairs, and then I'll be upstairs for the rest of the evening until I rest my weary head. So my creatine is downstairs, so I'm just going to take it now. But yes, I still take creatine. I've been taking this for years. I take it every single day. I just do a scoop. I do dry scoop it because I don't get the flavoured one, I just get a plain one. Do it, but I just go like that, and it's fine. I'll also sometimes put it in with my protein just for ease, but obviously I didn't do that today, so I'm taking it before bed. It's not a pre-workout, you don't have to take it as a pre-workout. I did take pre-workout today, I forgot to mention, but I just took the Ghost Pump passion fruit, which I'm actually nearly out of now. I'm not brand loyal with creatine, I get it, wherever's cheapest or most convenient at the time. I found this in a supplement shop near my gym, so that's why I have that one. I've seen recently that brands are starting to do creatine for women, so just to clarify, creatine is creatine. Creatine is creatine. There is no such thing as creatine for women, and I don't typically love when people say women just need the same stuff as men, because it's not always true, and a lot of research and studies is actually done on men, not women, and we're not the same. There is a meta-analysis, which is basically an analysis of multiple studies where creatine has been used in women, and we see great benefits from it, so I would highly recommend it. It's my top #1 supplement. I love it. I've been taking it for years and I have no notes on it. It doesn't agree with some people, but I would say those people are in the minority. And another thing is, just from like a hydration point of view, creatine will draw water into your muscles, so just with that being said, obviously you want to make sure you stay nice and hydrated. I would definitely up your water intake a little bit when you are taking creatine, but I take it every day. You don't need to load it, you don't need to do anything crazy with it, but yeah, make sure that you stay hydrated. I'd say that's the main thing, because some people do report headaches and stuff, but I genuinely think obviously it's drawing water into your muscles, so you don't have as much general hydration in your body, so it can dehydrate you if you're not staying on top of that. And in terms of bloating, you might get initial bloating. If you have prolonged bloating, it probably just doesn't agree with you. Obviously with it drawing water in, people think, oh, well, it increases water retention, it's going to make you look bloated. Not the case for the vast majority of people, because the water goes into your muscles, it's not floating around your body. If anything, it's going to make you look fuller in your muscles, which most people that go to the gym want. So obviously you've got some slight strength benefits, but there's also a lot of research to suggest it has good cognitive benefits as well. Still not like confirmed, but there's quite a bit of research that does point towards it having cognitive benefits too. So creatine is pretty much the only supplement I take every single day. Obviously I've taken protein today as well, but that's just because I was going to be low on protein without it, because I didn't have as much chicken as I thought I had for my chicken salad at lunch. Just finished the sorbet. I've got a little bit of brain freeze. I don't think my brain's working. I need to go do work. Guys, I've just finished watching Love Island. It was a good episode tonight. It was a good episode. I feel like last year when they did the mini Casa Amor thing, people that didn't get, like, I don't think they did like a proper recoupling. They all just came back, didn't they? If they did recouple, or maybe they did do a recoupling, but even if you didn't get picked, you got brought back to the villa. This year they've changed it, and I reckon they were all quite shocked that they got dumped. So I feel like they probably watched last season and were expecting, like Ramel, I feel like he was expecting to be able to have his cake and eat it with Walima and Poppy. I feel like I spoke about Megan and Tommy earlier, but it just got even worse tonight, guys. It was a masterclass in gaslighting. I was like, oh my god, what is going on? What is going on? And she went and told the girls, she was like, oh, he said he didn't want to do me anymore and he wanted an apology because I turned my back on him in bed. That is not what he wanted an apology for. And the fact that you think you don't owe any apology is kind of crazy. But tomorrow night's episode looks good. I don't feel like Helena is interested in this new guy at all. I feel like her and Harry are going to get back together. I want Alima to get rid of Ramel, but I don't think she will. I think they'll have an argument and then they'll be fine. I do feel bad for Emily because Connor and Megan are now obviously like totally like on each other. Dijon and Ramel, I think they're playing a massive game. And obviously it is a game show, so it makes sense, but I think they're playing a massive game because the behaviour just doesn't make any sense. Like, they keep, when it comes down to it, they make the safest decision. None of their behaviour lines up with that decision, if that makes sense. So anyway, Love Island is finished. My water is nearly finished, so I'm closing in on like 4 litres of water today. And I'm going to go to bed because I've got hot Pilates in the morning. So thank you so much for watching. I hope it's been nice spending the day with me. Full day of eating, doing something a little bit different. Obviously it should be a bit shorter. Well, it will be a bit shorter, but a lot shorter. than a weekly vlog as well, so for those of you on a time crunch, maybe a little bit better. But let me know if you've enjoyed this sort of video and if you want to see more, because I can do more. But yeah, thank you for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you haven't already, it massively helps me out. Leave a comment below and subscribe if you want to and you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next week for a weekly vlog. The weekly vlogs are coming back. I've not abandoned them. I just started this one too late to have a substantial vlog by Sunday, so I'm starting that tomorrow. And yeah, goodbye.